Welcome back, baby doll pumpkin pies. This video is specifically about the PulseX to Pulse ratio. It is the most important ratio to understand the health of the HEX and Pulse chain ecosystem. It is an idea. It's like the door of everybody coming outside from crypto and coming in. If this chart goes up, it is risk on, right? Happy. If this chart goes down, it is sad face, risk off. So let's go through this. If mid-curvers sell their PulseX deeply down against PLS, then we could get a giant pulse chain opportunity. This chart shows you everything. The beautiful part is you can go to Dex Screener and you can have a look at it yourself. So it would have to be squinty here. Right, you want to make sure you see this number like 0.25, 0.28, whatever it is. Most likely, people are just going to trade it around in this range. I'm going to draw a box of where I think it's like, just don't even bother doing anything. Even if it's all the way down, I'm going to draw it all the way down to 0.16. That's right. I don't like it going there, but hey, because I have more PulseX. But even if it does go down here, which would be from the top, if it drops 40, 50%, personally, I still wouldn't touch it. To me, that's okay. That's okay. Where would I want to touch it? In the zone. I'm actually going to draw the box. I would want the box to be 0.10 and below. Will it get there? Hey, there's no guarantees, but that's my zone. If it gets down here, we're going to act. So what you would do is, so here I am. PulseX to Pulse ratio. I'd say it started to get below, cheap, below 0.15. But, you know, in crypto, when things start to get cheap, guess what happens? They keep going cheap. It's the momentum keeps sending it that way. So you don't have to stress. We can just wait. Now, at that scenario, what you would be doing is, here, step one. You will spend, this is just a strategy. You don't have to do this specific amount. Spend 25% of whatever pulse you have. You will use it to buy PulseX at a ratio of 0.10. And then you will take profit at the target. So if I go back and I show you, you can actually see this on this nice, beautiful chart I've drawn here. 0.10 is down. So the green line, the green pumpermental line shows you maybe the trajectory it would take in this scenario. Okay. So if it got down to the diddle zone, we start diddling here, rotate 25%. Why 25%? It's just because from 0.10 up to 0.40, that is a 4x. So what you would be doing is you would have converted 25% here. 25% of your pulse would have gone into PulseX. So now you get more PulseX. You bought PulseX because it's cheap. When you rotate it out, you will now have 100% more pulse than you own today. Devil's advocate again, this is going to take 2.5 years. Also, devil's advocate, it could go even lower than that. There's nothing saying it has to stop at 0.10. It could go down to 0.05. Well, you don't know. Now, what I would really like, this is what I really like, because I know a lot of people are going to get upset. I have more PulseX just like you, and it's in a fair value zone. But people are going to get upset because they say, hey, the buy and the burn, etc. Yes, but you know people get weak. People get weak, they get fearful. Things can happen. You don't know what's going to happen in the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months. Maybe someone or a group of people just have a lot of fear. Market's going down. You don't know. So we are prepared if it happens. So what would the dream scenario be? Well, you don't need to. I don't even like talking about dream scenarios because they never come. Obviously, the dream scenario would be that we never ever leave this zone ever, and we actually shock everybody and we go up to like back to 0.5. That would be the shocker. No one would have seen that out. You know what? Now that I think about it, this would actually hurt the most amount of people because everybody's selling into Pulse now. Everybody's rotating out into Pulse. This is the kicker. Think about that scenario. Will it happen? This is where you just got to be prepared. You got to be prepared. As you go up, it's going to be risk on. It's going to be, there's more volume coming in. So it won't be a surprise to see that, like just thinking here, it won't be a surprise to see in my eyes, whenever you see PulseX pulse ratio going up, it's potentially also Ethereum HEX is going up. So HEX on Ethereum. Because they might be like the full health check of the Richard Heart ecosystem. Because Pulse chain, there's always going to be people buying the layer 1 DEX, because I understand the layer 1 chain, sorry. And then PHEX, you know, it's the homebred community. It's going to have everyone there. But this ratio itself might be the key. Just like how in normal crypto land, Ethereum HEX, so ETH BTC is the risk-on indicator. Hope you're learning something today. This is literally why it's one of the most important indicators. This is literally risk-on. So I know this is a log chart. Maybe if you do it on a linear chart, you can tell. You can see how in this period, this was the bull market of 2020 and 2021. You can see risk on, okay? And then it dropped down, risk off, no, we're dumping. And then risk on, right? This was the little anger phase, that recovery. But it's not exactly to be measured like one is higher than the other. You can't do that. Because over time, you lose the sense of how the market really moves with emotions, because the players of the market start to learn. So you can see in 2017, oh, risk on. And then there was a mid-year correction. Oh, risk on again. And that was it, risk off. Death. You can see that. You can see all of that happening. Risk off and absolute death. Risk on. So this is what you want to like to see. You can also view these with something more juicy. This might be the key into what PulseX pulse ratio can do or might look like. So this is the Uni-ETH ratio. So Uniswap is the home DEX of mainnet Ethereum. It has the most volume. Uniswap does, so I'm just want to let you know, Uniswap does 1 billion volume per day. PancakeSwap, number 2, does 100 million volume per day, right around that. So I think it's actually, they do 100 million value. Yeah, that's right. So PulseX, we're going to have question marks. Just to let you know, if PulseX does Uniswap's volume, it will buy and burn $250 million per year. That's right. Buy and burn it. Not just burn it, actually buy it off the market. So that's why it'll be great. This is like, I know everybody says, we're going to do Uniswap volume. Look, I really want that to happen, but I think a more realistic target first to go. I mean, I want to aim for the stars, right? But the realistic target would be where crypto grows so big. Let's say crypto 10x's from here. That means Uniswap's volume then becomes 10 billion per day. And then Pancake, maybe that does a 10x as well. So then Pancake does 1 billion. And then PulseX becomes a legit main competitor to Ethereum. It comes like right gnawing at its heels. So that would be a great scenario, because then we're not really, you don't have to imagine in your mind everybody in Ethereum rotating out. Not part, I mean absolutely everybody, because that's such a giant thing to think about. Obviously, I would love for it to happen. Fingers crossed it happens, but hey, I'm trying to keep you safe here, okay? So maybe this might be another realistic scenario where we get to where PancakeSwap is. We become, because PancakeSwap, Binance Chain, they're number 2. So maybe we get to like number 2, number 3 is a first goal in this cycle that we participate in, becomes like a main contender. And you're burning 250 million. That's huge, man. Huge. Like you might say, I know, I've got to reiterate to you. So liquidity and market cap are 2 different things, baby dolls. They are not the same. Just because you see a coin with 100 million market cap means nothing. Chances are its liquidity is only about $2 million, which means if you wanted to push it from 100 million market cap up to 200 million market cap, you just have to go to the liquidity and go, oh, all I need is $2 million, and I can literally double this pretty much. Now, it's not the exact number, but that's roughly what it would be. Yes. So, so I know it's crazy. A lot of people, you got to learn this. Yes, all it takes to go and make a market cap turn from 100 million to 200 million, you only need $2 million. And that's why when money gets taken out, you can see irrational people in fear. They see the big numbers down, but they don't know it's just a few people selling in the liquidity pool. This is super important. So that's why $250 million per year, if it was actually buying PulseX on average, that's even giving everybody even more reason and incentive to stay and hold as well. That is a great goal for us to get to. So that's why you'd want to participate in this. If the market decided, well, we don't really like PulseX, it's kind of sucking. If that happens, you have a plan here. Isn't this beautiful? You can rotate your PLS into PLSX. So you would be spending your Pulse here. Just like how in my chart here, see on this chart, this is Uni Ethereum. You can see up the top left, Uni Ethereum. So I'll write this down straight. So this is Uni/ETH. So going down here, some people say, well, how do you like participate in this chart? Well, all you got to do is own Uni, UNI, the coin. But what this chart is representing is the price pattern of what Uni has done versus Ethereum. Effectively, to get long here. So he said to me, hey, so if I draw this chart and I'm like, okay, how do I actually get a 500%, which is a 6x? How do I actually get that? And the answer is, to get it on this chart, you would spend 1 Ethereum here, or 10 or 100 or 1,000, however much you got. So you could spend 1 ETH here, and up here, your value of Uni, if you wanted to sell it, would be worth 6 Ethereum if it got up there. So isn't that beautiful? So this would turn 1 ETH into 6 ETH. And I'm going to do 2 ticks of friendship, and the background is automatically pumpermental green. That's what would happen. So you think, wow, that's big. Because you might say, whoa, what if Ethereum goes to $10,000? Well, yes, Habibi Albi, my friends, please put down the tabbouleh. I know you're very hungry, but yes, that's effectively what I'm saying is, yes, you could have turned 1,800 into 60K. We do that number, 1,800 into 16K. That's 33x. Yes, that's what happens. That's how you get your 33x. That's why don't sleep on these and just say, oh, I want to go into the memes. Look what you're missing out on. And this is Uni. This is trash. Useless government's token. By the way, it's still going to go up. Imagine what PulseX can do. You can attract more people because they love... I know retailers, man. I know what you like. You like the word burning. The community loves this word burning. They do it in the SHIB community. And I'm like, man, I don't think they really understand what it does. But now you have buy and burn. They're changing the game. Deflation. It's just a different cool marketing thing to throw it in there. I mean, it all works because the community's there. So you are now ready to participate if this happens. We don't have to complicate it. And then what would step 2 be? Step 2 would be, maybe it goes back to the premium. It all depends on how low you get it. So if you do this trade, like that's why it's not worth getting in a bit early. Honestly, it's not worth it. Because what's your upside? 50%, a 2x. It's not worth it. Like, how hard do you really want to go into this? I would rather punt on Hedron, Icosa, maybe even the Rocket Pool Fork, punt on other coins with your PLS. I'd rather you do that, spend lottery ticket money there, rather than you spend lottery ticket money in the middle of the no diddle zone here. Just because there's not enough deviation of people's opinions to give you the value of a diamond and throw it away for a penny. You want to pick up pennies. Anything in this zone, they're not sending it to you for pennies. It's like everybody knows there's a buy and burn. Markets priced it in. We know. They're like, hey, why the hell am I going to sell this to you minus 90% down? I'm not going to do that. So this is what you got to think. So being contrarian is difficult because I'm telling you, I promise you, most of the time, the market's actually right. Most of the time. It's not like you can just go everywhere and say, aha, this thing is down. I've got to get in. No. When you see things going down, just turn every stone. That's it. Turn every stone, open every door, open every window, sniff every corner, sniff every chair, whatever you do. You have to really look around everywhere. And I do mean everywhere because you don't get these. Like, for example, I know the Pulse chain, PulseX community, we have HEX. I know we're the underdog, but how do I know this? Oh, when I looked at every single one else, all of the rest. There are other great ones, but they're not like supercharged, supernova explosions ready to happen. They're just pretty good. That's it. And sad part is, after the good ones, it tapers off very hard, very fast. So it's like you have a shining light, and then you have like a bit of the sprinkles, and then you just have a big poopy at the bottom. That's literally it. There's nothing in between. There's nothing in between. Because not the market's right most of the time. That's why you have to find all this opportunity here when you can. So PulseX to pulse ratio is the temperature gauge we probably have to watch. If it's going down, well, the community's feeling risk off. Right? So if you want to know specifically why, it's because PulseX, the buy and burn and the volume. The market for PancakeSwap and other DEXs, they value these DEXs based off the volume coming into the chain. The volume of the swapping isn't an indicator. It's like an economy. You know how we measure GDP? Well, that's the politicians and economists' way of measuring the health of an economy. When your GDP goes up, everybody's buying and selling heaps. It's risk on. And when GDP is going down, it's risk off. It was like, oh, everyone's sitting at home, smelling their own chair. They don't really know what's going on. That is the key difference here. So PulseX, pulse ratio, it should be like your main indicator, just like ETH BTC, right? ETH BTC. I don't know how high this can possibly go. I mean, imagine it does a flippening one day. I mean, this thing opened at a flippening and then it dumped immediately, so at 1.0. So it can go. Probably to numbers we don't even think. Just because layer 1 chains, they were exciting in 2021, but what if they're not going to be exciting in 2025 compared to the DEXs? So at least now you have your strategy set with me. You just sit and wait. We don't do anything. So right now, live as you're watching it, PulseX to pulse ratio getting dumped 0.23. So they're gonna be people waking up. They don't know what they're doing. Let them dump. It's too risky. It's too risky to play around in this zone with all this wacky stuff going on. Just to let you know, right, before you do anything as well, I just want you to know, there are people who, look at the damage here. So this 0.20, there were people who sold at 0.20. And then I saw the PulseX pulse ratio go back up to 0.33. So if you just do that deviation, they are down 38% at that top. So they literally had lost 38% of their whole bag after waiting for 2 years. They literally lost it in like 20 minutes. This is the danger of you getting these things wrong. That's why, look at my boxes. Maybe it hits it, maybe it doesn't. We're going to wait and see. Like, subscribe, bell button, all friends. I'll catch you in the next one.